Hello, beautiful souls. Warm welcome to anyone who's new to this channel. The return viewers, you know what's up. I'm on the verge of tears. I just received a letter that touched me so deeply. I think it touched me for two reasons. One, I can identify with it. And the second is I just pray that I can help. And this person said my videos have been helpful, and I believe I can offer some guidance. So I'm very touched. And this person shared their story, and part of healing from Neo-Advaita is grieving, because there's many losses connected to Neo-Advaita. So you're getting to witness part of my recovery in that in this video. So this person asked so many beautiful questions, shared many things. So I think one of their main questions was, so first of all, there's different types of Neo-Advaita. The type of Neo-Advaita I was most exposed to was the Just Inquire Neo-Advaita, where it was really focused on the practice of self-inquiry. But there is another type that's more just philosophical. I don't even want to say philosophical, but just focuses on certain ideas like you don't exist, or there is no self, or, as this person pointed out, there is no free will, or there is no doer. And that idea is just kind of hammered until the person accepts it as true. And so this person asked, how can I let go of the idea that there is no free will? That idea has really messed with them. So it's an important question, and connected to that is the other question that they asked, that that Neo-Advaita is hard to let go of because it seems true, and they're afraid of letting go of something that's genuine. And so I'm going to speak to that one first. So, as I've shared many times, I realized in 2004 that Neo-Advaita was harmful and not really true. But it wasn't until 2018, I think, 2017, that I was actually able to say no to it. So it's very hard. So I'm not going to, not for everyone, but for me, I'll put it this way. It can be very hard to let go of Neo-Advaita. So that's the first thing, is to recognize that we're dealing with a difficult foe here. I liken it to an addiction for a number of reasons. But so my heart goes out to you. It is blankety blank hard to leave, hard to let go of. So that's the first thing I want to say. Next thing I want to say is my belief is that there's some part of you and me and all of us that is seeking the truth and will not stop. So it's kind of like this person is in mid process, like they know it's not true, but they're still having trouble letting go of certain things. And so I get it. I was in that phase for like 14 years. So I hope I can spare you a little bit of time. And just had someone walking through, so I like covered their face. So how to let go of the idea that there is no free will. It's going to be different for each person. I'll tell you what did it for me. Part of what did it for me is, well, twofold. Firstfold, recognizing that Advaita Vedanta is just a sub-school of a sub-school. So Hinduism has 6 main schools, and Vedanta is one of those 6 schools. And Advaita Vedanta is just a sub-school of it. There's about 5 or 6 other sub-schools. Now, each sub-school has their own interpretation of certain Hindu scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutras. Not every school of Vedanta believes there's no free will. When I learned that, not so much that, but other things, I almost, as they say, S a brick. I almost shit a brick because I thought Advaita Vedanta was it. Advaita means non-duality. There's Dvaita Vedanta, dualistic Vedanta. There's Vishta Advaita Vedanta, qualified non-duality. There's Achinta Beta Beta Vedanta, which is one yet separate. There's multiple schools of Vedanta, and Advaita is just one. So I please take this to my heart, everybody. Advaita Vedanta is nothing more and nothing less than Adi Shankara. He's the person who founded it. His interpretation of 3 Hindu scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutras, and the Upanishads. Nothing more, nothing less. This is all these ideas that we're dealing with, and we've got it even, because Neo-Advaita is then an interpretation of Adi Shankara, so we're dealing with an interpretation of 3 scriptures. So Neo-Advaita, it's like this. There's the truth, right? And then, at least according to Hinduism, there's these 3 key scriptures that describe the truth and describe the path there. Maybe so, maybe not. You decide for yourself. Then there's Adi Shankara, who studied these and came up with his own novel interpretation of them that founded the school of Advaita Vedanta. Then there have been many practitioners within that school of Advaita Vedanta who more or less agree. Then we have Ramana Maharshi, who has a spiritual experience, and he's like, yeah, Adi Shankara was correct. Then what we have is people reading Ramana Maharshi, misinterpreting what he taught, and then teaching that. And that's Neo-Advaita. So truth, these scriptures, Adi Shankara, Ramana Maharshi, Neo-Advaita teachers. So I hope that breaks it down for a little bit about how far away from the truth Neo-Advaita is. It's a trickle down of a trickle down of a trickle down. So just that for me was highly liberating. I don't know if that'll be liberating for you. I didn't go so far down the no free will rabbit hole. The other thing is, Ramana Maharshi was adamant that it's necessary to make effort. Now, this dude sometimes would teach no free will. Sometimes he wouldn't. Depended who he was talking to. But regardless of who he's talking to, no, that's not true. He almost always taught the necessity for effort. To some very advanced souls, maybe the need for no effort, but it was very rare. You don't have to take my words for it. You can read his actual words. So regardless of whether or not there is free will, there is a necessity to do things and make effort. That was another kicker for me. So the thing is Neo-Advaita is like a spider's web. And you kind of just got to unpeel it layer by layer. So this person's already done some unpeeling. And now this is like maybe a very thick strand. So another way is that helped me to unpeel it, not this particular strand, but Neo-Advaita in general, is to recognize that not only was Neo-Advaita in contradiction to Ramana Maharshi and Adi Shankara and all the other actual non-dual teachers, but Neo-Advaita is in contradiction to pretty much every other wisdom tradition in the world. Neo-Advaita satsang, not really, teachers, quote, not really, are expert at hand-picking quotes, taking things out of context, and really creating a picture. Neo-Advaita has created a whole picture of what non-duality is and what reality is and what life is. It's really, they fabricated an illusion. And the recovery process is nothing more and nothing less than extricating yourself from ourselves, from a spiritual illusion, something that seems spiritual but is actually part of the illusion. It's like Morbius in the Matrix shows up and offers Neo, the red pill, but lo and behold, Morpheus was actually an agent of the Matrix, and the red pill like took Neo deeper into the Matrix. That's what a Neo-Advaita teacher is. So, but all this is really philosophical. Part of what helped me recover from Neo-Advaita was going out and dancing, going out and having sex, occasionally getting drunk, reading poetry, listening to music. About 9 months ago, I'd already very firmly stepped away from Neo-Advaita, but I was still caught in monk mode, where I was still thinking that the only things, acting as if the only things that mattered to me were meditation and service. I discovered the Taylor Swift song Shake It Out and the video. And the video is just like her being playful and catty and silly. And she's making fun of some people who criticized her. And when I saw that video, and she's like dressing up in different costumes, and she invites her fans to come dance with her, like it's totally, from a certain from the perspective of non-duality, totally frivolous, right? And it's got some booties and like short shorts, like shaking at the screen. Like it's really, it's a very spiritual video. I saw it and I was like, this chick is more enlightened than me on a certain level, in terms of like, she's living life. She's doing shit, and there's a way in which she's better at life than I am. And that was very humbling. Actually, you know what the thought was? She's more real than me. Not real in any kind of like metaphysical or spiritual sense, but just in a basic human authenticity sense. And I listened to that song over a period of a month. I listened to it like 60 or 70 times. It was really helpful for me. So what I'd say to this person is, I hear you. And I don't know exactly what it's going to take to unravel the free will thing. Might be listening to Taylor Swift Shake It Out. What I would do, if I may throw out a suggestion, watch for those human impulses. Like maybe you have a very strict diet and you're like, I want to go eat a taco. And then go eat a taco. Neo-Advaita is it's tricky. And the recovery from it is tricky, but it's not complicated, but it's not easy. It's getting in touch with and honoring our humanity. And so those are a few things that come to mind. The last thing I'll say is, one of the major things that struck a pretty big nail in the Neo-Advaita coffin for me was learning self-compassion. I took a course called Mindful Self-Compassion. It was very hard. I dropped out the first time. The second time, I only made it 3/4 of the way through. Roughly 3/4 of the way through. And I want to do it again, see if I can make it all the way through, which I think I will be able to now. So those are things that come to mind. This person shared a couple of the things in their letter, and I'm going to percolate a little more and respond. And maybe this person will give me some feedback how all this lands. So shake it out, everybody. I'm so grateful to this person that wrote me, and I'm so grateful to everyone who takes the time to watch these videos. And my heart is with you, sister. Take care, beautifuls. Mwah.